What a nutrition coach eats on vacation. That's me.
You're the vacation?
I'm the vacation. You're so lucky.
So she's a nutrition coach. We're talking about, so like we have clients who will go on trips. They're in the middle of losing weight and they're like, I'm going to take this trip. I don't want to just gain 5-10 pounds on this vacation. What can I do? Megan took a trip. She is currently in the process of losing some weight. And so for 3 days we went to DC and she wanted to actually be able to enjoy herself like our clients do when they go on vacation. But same deal, like she didn't want to completely mess it all up. So we're going to go over what she ate specifically, some of the specifics anyway, and just some of the strategies that we use with all of our clients. You can see kind of where she succeeded and failed maybe a little bit, and you can learn from all of it. So first of all, there are kind of 3 options for our clients when they are in this situation. Number 1 is you're going on this trip so you can fully indulge and enjoy yourself, just be intentional about it. In other words, you are going to eat more than you normally do, and you know that you're not going to continue to lose weight on this trip, but you know you're also not going to gain a bunch back either. You're going to, go ahead.
I think it really helps with that mindset of like all or nothing. You can have permission to indulge and not worry about what's going to happen, the results. And then having that permission, that mindset, like helps you avoid overeating all the time or eating all of the things and getting on that slippery slope. So when you come back from vacation, it feels harder to even get started.
Totally. So that's one option. That's what a lot of people choose, because who cares if 1 week you don't lose weight. But the second option, this is for people who are like, I'd like to see some continued progress. Like, I don't want to not see anything. What can I do? Is they choose their indulgences. So you pick 1 or 2 of your favorite things. Like maybe it's wine or pizza or ice cream, whatever. You go, this is the thing I'm going to enjoy. And then the rest of the time, I'll stay on point and kind of stick to my plan as much as I can. Your progress will be a little bit slower probably than what you've been experiencing, but you might actually be able to still continue to see some weight loss with that. And then the third option is to stay completely on track with what you've been doing. This one is a lot harder. We don't recommend it most of the time. However, if you're going on a trip where you're like, okay, I'm just going to get together with family, we're not going to be going out to eat a bunch, I can be in control of this, then it could work. I don't recommend it, but it's an option if you're there. So those are kind of the 3 choices, or somewhere in between, which is kind of what you did, right?
Yeah, so I kind of picked between 1 and 2. Like I wanted to really indulge and experience all the different foods, because part of going to a different city for our family is trying the different foods and just being part of
food.
Yes, we're foodies. Can we call ourselves foodies?
I don't know, because that sounds snobby.
Yeah, it
like
does.
we just like food.
We like to eat food.
Yeah.
And try new things. So I wanted to make sure that was a huge part of my experience, but I also didn't want to go completely off the wall with what I was eating. So I kind of found a goal between 1 and 2, the first and 2 options. So
with the ultimate goal being that you want to maintain your weight,
mm-hmm.
but really be able to participate and enjoy.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about specifically what ended up happening with all of that.
Yeah. So day 1.
Yes.
Can I start with day 1?
Yeah.
Okay. I just ate normal breakfast. Protein packed and full of veggies, kept me full until lunchtime. And during lunch, we were on the plane, and I didn't want to wait until after we landed, because that would have been very late for me to eat again. I would have been very, very hungry and made a lot of different choices that I might have regretted. So we grabbed sandwiches at the airport. And so pretty normal food, first 2 meals of the day.
And then for dinner, that's when we knew we were really going to enjoy ourselves. So we went to a place called Union Market. It's got a whole bunch of different local vendors. You can get any type of food you want from all these different places. Just pick what you want. And you got Italian,
because they were sitting there making the pasta fresh out of the machine. I was like, yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah. So, and then you didn't even finish it.
No, I couldn't. I felt so full. I didn't want to finish it, even though it was so good.
Yeah. So just to kind of before I summarize this day, we did have dessert afterward too. So I want to point that out. We went and got gelato and we shared that with the kids. We didn't each get a different thing. We shared 2 big things of ice cream, and then the kids were more than happy to
eat more of it.
Most of it. Even without us telling them the plan, somehow they magically were like, oh, we'll just eat all of it. So
I think there was literally a point where they were both like this over the balls.
So to summarize day one, there was a lot of normal food
Yeah.
that you ate, but you also fully enjoyed yourself without overeating. You didn't stuff yourself full. You stopped once you were full and then didn't finish, and you shared the ice cream so that you didn't have too much of that.
Yeah.
So there was a good balance of really enjoying your day, but not overdoing it with anything, and not constantly indulging.
But that's taken me a long time to be able to recognize where I'm at with how full I'm feeling and not going Thanksgiving full, you know?
That's stuff you work on with our clients, and it takes a long time to get there. So it's possible to do this, but you certainly have to set your expectations for your vacation based on what you're ready for.
Yeah.
Okay, so day two. Oh, I know, just to add, at the end of day one, Megan had groceries delivered to our hotel.
Yep.
And so for day two, we had those groceries at our hotel, and we used those for breakfast and lunch, so that, again, we're not just constantly indulging all day long. And
it mostly consisted of proteins that we didn't have to cook or anything, and just easy, ready to eat vegetables.
yeah, which those protein and lean, good proteins and veggies are what you don't get a lot of when you're eating out. So that's why those grocery items made a lot of sense. But we also got bread so we could have sandwiches.
Cheese.
And yeah, so, but yeah, Greek yogurt, boiled eggs, lunch meat, cottage cheese, and then veggies like baby carrots, mini cucumbers, sugar snap peas, stuff like that. That held us over until in the afternoon where we needed a snack and didn't want to go back to the hotel. We're too far away, and so you shared a chicken gyro with our 6-year-old. So again, another way, like a delicious food truck in DC, but you got something really good, but it was still a good lean protein option, and you shared it so you didn't eat too much because it was just a snack. And then again, at the end of the day, we wanted dinner to be super good. We'd been walking a ton, 20,000 steps.
That day and the day before.
Yeah, so a ton of walking. We're like, let's just let go and do what we want. So we got a big deep dish pizza.
And I ordered a beer because it was so good with pizza.
Yeah.
And I wanted it. So.
Yep, and then afterwards we got dessert again. We found a different restaurant, a cookie place. We got 8 pretty big cookies.
Different flavors.
All different, all different cookies, and then we shared them. But I know for you, like you didn't even, so we all could have technically had 2 total, and you didn't even have that.
No, I didn't eat the cookies I didn't like. I mean, with all the pieces I had, maybe I had like 1 good sized cookie. But if I didn't like it, I wasn't going to finish it. And so I just only ate the ones that were really good.
Which is another strategy that you can use all the time or on trips is if it's not worth it, then just don't eat it. Day 3. So I guess I could summarize day 2, but it's really very similar, which is that a bunch of normal foods, a bunch of enjoyment indulgences, and not overdoing it.
Yeah, good balance.
Yeah.
Day 3 is where there's a little variation in here. So we had the last bit of our groceries left, and so we were just finishing off what we had. And
there wasn't much.
No, I didn't quite have a big enough breakfast or lunch, even though I had tons of protein and veggies. I didn't have anything else to sustain me until our early dinner. And that's kind of where I got way too hungry. And by the time we got our food...
So we went to this Ethiopian restaurant, which was another new first experience for her.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been to one, you can get this big plate of food for the whole family. And it's real easy if you're starving and have no control to just keep shut. You don't even get utensils. Like you take the bread and you pick up the food.
It's not bread. It's injera.
Okay, well I say bread because I don't know that word. But it's delicious. Like I highly recommend trying it. But it was very easy to just stuff it.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know how much I ate. So I just ate until I felt satisfied. Which, because I was eating so fast, was definitely ended up being more full than I normally would let myself feel by the end of a meal. So I was content at the end of the meal, but
the rest of us were not. We still wanted dessert. And so we went and got dessert, and Megan went ahead and joined us in that, even though probably...
I should not have.
Yeah, it was very good. We got blackberry cobbler and chocolate cake.
Yeah. But I left that restaurant feeling Thanksgiving stuffed. It hurt to walk. I felt miserable, and I really regretted even having it. It wasn't enjoyable at that point.
Which is super important to recognize, is that like you could have done that, and a lot of people do when they go on trips. They just are like, it's free for all, I'm going to do whatever I want. You actually, whether you realize it or not, you are, because of how uncomfortable you get, aren't able to enjoy your trip as much as what you could. Like, we did a ton of walking around and sightseeing and doing all sorts of stuff in DC that you would have been miserable doing if you had just indulged like that every single day. So while that was a mistake, it's a good learning opportunity to go, people make the mistake of, okay, I'm trying to be good, so I'm not going to eat very much. And then this happens and you stuff yourself.
Happens to even me. And
yeah. So don't eat too little and don't constantly stuff yourself. Find that middle ground. It is possible. You have to plan ahead sometimes, but it can work. So now, what was the outcome of this? Now, you had said you wanted to maintain your weight. And I do want to point out that when we talk about maintaining your weight, if you're going from weight loss to weight maintenance, you will gain some weight.
Scale will reflect.
The scale will go up a little bit because you've got to change your routine. You've been eating different foods than normal. Even just the travel, it can add some water weight to your body. And that is not bad. People sometimes think that's negative. It's not. It's not at all the same thing as gaining fat. Like, you're not just, your body isn't putting on fat because you had some water weight. So this is a normal thing and should be something you expect when you're maintaining. As your weight could go up 3-ish pounds, and kind of depending on the circumstances. And I know your goal ultimately with maintenance was like, if I can keep this to 1 or 2 pounds, then I'm good with that.
Totally.
And did you manage that?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So even with enjoying all those different meals and having desserts, and even the last day where you
every
ate,
night.
and where you ate more than what you even planned on, you kind of messed up a little bit there. You still accomplished your goal.
Yeah.
So it is still possible to do all this.
Yeah.
And what about after this? Like, is your body going to go into some kind of like panic mode and go, I'm going to stop losing weight now?
No, I think what the scale will reflect for the rest of the week is like not a continued weight loss, but me losing a little bit of that water weight, and it's going to look like I'm not losing weight. And then the following week, I'll just get back into the similar rate of weight loss that I was already seeing. So
ultimately, it's not really going to affect anything other than maybe you don't lose, you reach your ultimate end goal a few days later than what you would have, but it didn't actually change anything.
Yeah, but the trade-off was worth it for me to be able to experience that for a few days of delayed goal.
And here's the thing, is that we're talking about vacation, but finding that balance, even just in normal everyday life, is totally possible, and really is the most logical, most like, I don't even want to say logical, it's the way you should lose weight. Like, it's what makes the most sense, is because life happens. You want it, you're gonna have pizza night.
Yeah.
Great, you can still lose belly fat. You are good. Maybe you are like, I want to have wine. I enjoy a glass of wine at night. You can do that, and you can still fit into your clothes again. You know, you can lose that weight. You can have more energy to keep up with your kids, and you don't have to be in the gym working out for an hour every single day to do that. Like, you can have this balance of, I want these things that are going to make me feel better, look better, feel more confident about my body, and you don't have to give up all of these other things in order to get there. So, but in order to do that, both for life and for if you're taking a trip and you don't want to lose your progress, you have to start with a plan that makes sense for real life. So whether it's vacation, or you're just in a busy season, or you've got kids and you've got to constantly haul them around, you don't have a ton of time, there is a way to do that. And it is how we coach our clients. We teach this realistic approach. And if you are interested in that, rather than, risking it and going, oh, I don't know if this is going to work for me, we just launched a 10-day Kickstart. So you can try it for 10 days. It's only $37. You'll get all kinds of stuff like healthy recipes and nutrition guides and
10 ways to eat more protein and vegetables.
Yeah, you'll get some workout tips and I mean, it's all sorts of
us coaching you along the way.
Yeah, you have access to us to ask questions, and you can get started with this. It's 10-day Kickstart to weight loss. I don't know, I guess we can leave a link.
Yeah, we'll leave a link
and
in the comments.
If you have any questions, you can send us a message or leave a comment. Otherwise, do you want to have anything else you want to add?
No. Enjoy your vacation.
I do want to, real quick, just go over some of these.
Okay.
Like, I'm just going to summarize everything. Some of the tips that were in this: prioritizing protein and veggies, not eating mediocre treats. like just, or not stuffing yourself with them. Sharing treats, eating enough to not feel starved so that you don't lose control. Eating slowly, and eating until you're full but not stuffed. Yeah, until you're satisfied. Those are all kind of the things that she did. Those are things that we can work on with you as a client, or you can get started, like I said, with a 10-day kickstart. That's it. We will see you next time.